Now, maybe you were a Bulls fan that had some hope going into last night's game against the defending champion Los Angeles Lakers. You're saying to yourself, hey, when the Bulls played them in Los Angeles a couple of weeks ago, they had a shot to win a game at the end. And that was out without Lowry and without Satoransky and etc. So maybe the defending champs come in and, earlier in the week they choked up and gave up the game against the Warriors. Like maybe they'll come in and they'll overlook the Bulls, and these guys got a chance to sneak one out from the defending champs until you realize that the first time the Bulls played the Lakers, Los Angeles was without one of their two megastars in Anthony Davis. So he was going to play this time. Changes a lot, changes everything. And certainly with the guy coming back home to Chicago to play this game, you'd have to figure he was motivated. You have to figure he was going to be ready to go. You have to figure the combination of him and LeBron were going to approach and attack this game that they couldn't sleep on the Bulls because the Bulls have already really stuck a game to them. And again, when they faced off a couple weeks ago, we're in a position to win it late. So you had to figure they were going to come out guns blazing. And then once you find out that the Bulls were going to be without Wendell Carter Jr. and without Otto Porter, those are two guys that help the depth of this team. Wendell's a starter. Otto Porter is their sixth man. You had to know that the signs didn't necessarily look all that encouraging or all that promising for the Bulls on Saturday night. And if you had still any belief or thought or delusions about what could happen, you quickly were knocked back into your senses. Because the Lakers came out of the gate strong in the first quarter. Not so much offensively, because, Anthony Davis helped spearhead an 18-2 Lakers run there in the middle of the first, and he had 15 first-quarter points himself. But it's not like the Lakers were necessarily lighting up or torching the Bulls from the field. I mean, they did have a 29-17 lead after one, but it was the Bulls really struggling on offense, which was a theme throughout the night. They really struggled against the Lakers' length and size to be able to get easy, quality shots just consistently throughout the entire game. He just really didn't have much of an answer. And, in that first quarter to only put up 17 points, that's the worst quarter I think this Bulls team has played all year. Part of the worst first half that this team has played all year. LaVine had 8, but he was the only one really doing anything. And even with him, it didn't really feel like he was doing much. Now, I'm not picking on him here. I've picked on him at other times. I'm not picking on him here. It's just that's the reality. And if anything, this is maybe, an indication that the Bulls have to understand just how truly, truly far away they are from getting to that spot that the Lakers are in. And if you had any doubts, you watch a game like this and you get a perfect reminder of that. Because the Lakers were even more dominant in the second quarter. They outscored the Bulls 34-16. And realistically, it was just too easy for Anthony Davis and LeBron James, but especially Anthony Davis. While LeBron had 13 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists, he was happy to defer and kind of facilitate things and help the offense flow. Had one big monster dunk that looked savage as hell. But it was Anthony Davis that was torching the Bulls. He's the one that had 26 points on 10 of 12 from the field in the first half. He was able to get whatever shot he wanted, wherever he wanted, and a lot of those shots close to the hoop in the paint. And the Bulls just didn't have an answer. Whether it was a Daniel Gafford on him or somebody else on him, it didn't matter. Anthony Davis was able to get to his spot and get off basically whatever shot he wanted. And I was kind of disappointed that the Bulls were not getting more into him, not bumping him physically, not using some of the fouls, frankly, to get him out of his rhythm. Because you let a superstar like Anthony Davis get going, he is going to kill you. And he certainly killed the Bulls in the first half with 26. I mean, he was impressive. And meanwhile, for the Bulls, as easily as it seemed to come for Anthony Davis and to a lesser degree LeBron James, every shot the Bulls took seemed to be challenged, seemed to be contested, seemed to be difficult, less than ideal, late in the shot clock, etc. I mean, LaVine had 10 at the half, but he only scored 2 points in the second quarter. The Bulls shot 33% from the field in the first half and didn't make a single three. And for a team who has shot relatively well this year, for a team in particular that is very, very dependent upon the three-point shot to have a chance in these games against really good teams, the fact that they went over in the first half and shot under 35% from the field, you shouldn't be surprised when you see that the Bulls were down is 30 points at the half. Like, you already knew that was over. It was 63-33, and it felt worse than that, frankly. For those concerns about the Lakers' moves that they made during the offseason, like, did they sacrifice offense for defense, or did they sacrifice defense for offense, I should say? Defensively, they looked like a really, really good, solid unit against this Bulls team, but it was the Bulls, so let's keep that in perspective. And I really wanted to see how this team came back in the third quarter, because you're already down 30. So while you never say never, and you with the 3-point shot in today's NBA, you could certainly say that a 30-point lead at halftime does not have to be insurmountable. You have to have things go your way. The other team's going to have to miss some shots. You're going to have to hit the glass. You're going to have to defend well. And you have to hit 3-point shots and in abundance. But it can happen. And I was encouraged to see that the Bulls came back and showed, frankly, a little bit of life in that third quarter. Again, that to me is a reflection of Billy Donovan and the players. Billy Donovan making some adjustments and getting the guys bought in, and the guys being willing to be bought into what he is saying. They ended up outscoring the Lakers 33-21, and I was impressed. As I said, you're going up against the defending champs. AD's just having his way on you. You're already down 30 at the half. This is one of these types of situations where this team could have just given up. They could have just thrown in the towel, and they didn't. Now, maybe some of that is the Lakers laxed off a little bit coming out of the half. Maybe. And they have a little bit of recent history of doing that. But you still got to go out there and execute. And the Bulls certainly did a much better job of executing in the third quarter. So they took the game from a 30-point deficit to 18 points at the end of 3. And while you're still sitting there and saying there's no way they come back, you were at least in a point where if the Lakers started missing shots, and it's not like they even had a great shooting night themselves, and you could get on a little bit of a run here and maybe get it down to 10 points with 5 minutes, 6 minutes to go, you have a chance. You just have to worry, do you expend too much energy coming all the way back like that? And it certainly looked like the Bulls ran out of gas in the fourth quarter. And don't pay attention to the final score because the game wasn't that close. It was garbage time the last several minutes. It was a little heartbreaking because you thought, hey, maybe the Bulls, can carry the momentum of the third quarter over to the fourth. And the Lakers said, no, not when it matters. So the Lakers ended up rolling pretty comfortably to a 101-90 win. What are you going to say? The Bulls are a bad team going up against the defending champions, a team that certainly looks like they're poised to potentially repeat. It won't be an easy path, but they certainly have a chance, and a very good chance. And as long as they have LeBron James and Anthony Davis healthy and at their top form, this is a damn good team. So, you can sit there and rant and rave about getting dominated like this, but what are you going to expect? You let Anthony Davis, have his way with you all night and put up 37 points, it's going to be a long night for you. Even with, LeBron not having the best night. Like, he missed a dunk. He was only 6 of 16 from the field. He had 17 points. But even with that, it felt like LeBron was in control of his faculties. He just missed shots. And you could still see where the Bulls were having troubles defending him. And again, he just missed shots. But he was hitting the glass, and he was facilitating and creating for others. And the Bulls just didn't have any answers. The Lakers held the Bulls to under 40% shooting from the field. And again, when you look at that, the team struggled to hit shots. They struggled from 3. LaVine, yes, he had 23, but he was only 9 of 23 from the field. That's not a great efficiency number right there. This is just a good reminder, a valuable lesson for this Bulls team too. And that is, they came into this game winners of 3 in a row. And it's perhaps a good reminder of just how far they are away, and not to buy into maybe their own bullshit after this recent winning streak. Now you're playing the creme de la creme, and you understand what it takes to be that creme de la creme and how far away from that you truly are. Yeah. The Bulls got their ass whooped on Saturday night. I wasn't that surprised, really. I was a little surprised and disappointed that they let Anthony Davis get 37 points so easily and so comfortably. And I was maybe a little surprised that they shot so poorly from the field. But, I guess eventually it was going to catch up with them. They were going to have a game like this. And if you're going to have a game like this, might as well have it against the defending NBA champions. But yeah, it's for those of you that maybe are excited about this Bulls team potentially sliding into the back door of the Eastern Conference playoff picture, being a 7th or 8th seed. Why? I guess the problem with this team, it's hard to hate them, but it's hard to totally embrace them because what are they accomplishing here? Even if they were somehow able to backdoor into the playoffs, if anything, is going to create more problems in the future because then there's going to be the concern about, oh, we got to bring out a quarterback. Granted, not at that contract number, but we'll think about bringing it back and then start to think about giving Zach LaVine a max contract extension. Then give Lowry big money. And then you're basically tied into this team and its foundation for the next several years. Yeah, that was a tough watch last night. They got their shit rocked. Not as bad as Conor McGregor did, but they still got rocked nonetheless. But hopefully this will be a learning experience for the Bulls. That when you go up against the best and the brightest, you better bring your A game because if you don't, they will dispense with you very quickly. And if you enjoyed this recap of this game, make sure you smash that subscribe button. And either way, make sure you follow me on Twitter so we can talk during these Bulls games. Yeah! I'll see you after the Bulls' next one.